Namaste, namaste, everyone. Baba Sharon over here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light. And we have many of our light workers who are on Zoom. That's where we do the full meditation. We also have some beautiful light workers right here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light. We are all vibing real high, okay, on the equinox energy. And most certainly we had an equinox ceremony yesterday. We always have the equinoxes and solstices. We honor that, which I've come to find out, and I didn't know this before, but there's this celebration, I believe the name is Nowruz. Nowruz. And this is a Middle Eastern celebration. And it's amazing the things you could find on TikTok and other social media that's out there, but this is one where there's a gentleman, his name is Sabir, and he just shares a lot of information. And he said this was the time of Nowruz, and Nowruz is the celebration of the spring equinox, right? So the spring equinox is celebrated in all cultures. In fact, all equinoxes and solstices are celebrated around the world, irrespective if ancient times cultures even knew of each other, which of course there's some point that they did, but I mean, even if it was separated, each community knew the significance of when that celestial cross made a turn, because obviously it had to do with the tides, it had to do with planting, it had to do with a cycle of life. And so from the very beginnings of humanity, people became very aware of that and knew to honor that, So if you figure you have, okay, energies, celestial energies, even if the moon has an effect on our own ocean, okay, it has effect on the tide, okay, so little less all these different alignments and things that are going on most certainly have impact on our planet. I want to go a step further to share that, you know, there is the axiom that says, as above, so below as above. And this is important, particularly now, because war is not new to this planet, as we know. And, you know, you have to ask, well, why is things the way they are? Why is there war? And so there's no simple one answer to it, but one of the answers is that this is an imperfect creation. We are not imperfect as beings, as far as our spiritual being is concerned in our soul. We come from a high aeon. Okay, we are perfected beings, and we do hold the similitude and the image of the divine, of the source. And so we come from the highest of light. We happen to be in these what I call animal bodies or body wraps that are imperfect because of other dynamics or polarities. Let's say polarities is better than war. Polarities on higher levels. And we're caught up in that mix, whether we are aware of it or not. And that's why the axiom says, as above, so below is that. So if we have war or the illusion that somehow we're separate and we have access to what we would call the lower emotions of greed and power and jealousy and lust, and you know, the list goes on, and that can be manipulated, okay, so too there's stuff happening on other levels too. So all I'm simply saying is that we are part of a much larger cosmic story and a much larger cosmic history, and we are part of a much larger divine plan of ascension. You can say that we are the boots on the ground. We are very much integrated into this higher galactic dynamic, whether we are aware of that or not. Now, some people over time, or in the past, you had your prophets and your mystics, and they've always been around, and they've sort of got like glimpses of, what's beyond. There's some of us that have that experience now. There's more of us that will have that experience going on as things become accelerated. You begin to come into contact with, like, hey, wait a minute, I have cosmic origins, and my cosmic memory is getting on board. And what was little pieces of information that just kept you seeking to find answers, that you find that answers are now little pieces beginning to come in as we come together and once again bringing in our cosmic memory and the reality that it's not just this planet that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the entire solar system. In fact, we're dealing with the entire universe, of which there's many, many universes. And then you come to say, well, this particular universe is on an ascension, meaning what? Going up, going back in higher vibration, which meant but somehow it fell and it's coming back around. And it could be cycles. And I'm not saying that there's any one simple answer to this, but these are just concepts to consider. And whichever way you look at it or how you look at it, you are definitely involved in all of this stuff. I could tell you that. And particularly for those who are the tribe of light, the tribe of whether you are awakened or in the process of awakening, or you're a seeker of truth, or you are questioning on whatever level that you are saying, I feel there's something more. I'm looking for something. I'm following my soul pulse. Okay, this message is so much for you because there's a reason why you feel that way, because there's a whole nother reality that exists, a whole nother reality. So just like those of you saw the Matrix, everybody is dreaming a certain dream and this is what it's like in the Matrix. And then somebody wakes it up and says, this is all a dream. This is really what's going on. Okay. And this is what you can do to make a difference in that. And always we can only, whether you're an author or somebody, creative, that the concept that you can even conceive that concept means on some level that it is true. I've always thought that sci-fi, science fiction movies or stories is just information. I used to think it was future realities. And then I came to the point of realizing it exists, but I just don't know about it yet. But it's there. If you can even conceive it, that means it's happening. So that is why I look at everything that's out there, because there's some seed of truth to it, and I need to be informed about it, as we all do. And as you do that, it begins to trigger other little neurons. Your third eye starts to have a little spark or something. The cosmic part of yourself, the higher parts of yourself starts to get a little movement and so forth. And so that is why it's so important to go down your path of light, especially now. And as we said yesterday at the Equimut, very powerful ceremony we had here at the Cosmic Center. Spiritual Light is actually on Facebook and it is on Zoom for those of you that want to tap into this energy that was so powerful yesterday. No joke how powerful that was. And what came in that energy was El Gabor, which is the strength of God. Okay, that came in so powerful towards the end. And and that is an energetic, it'll be on our YouTube channel, so you can also experience that. That'll be up in about a week or so. But do these energies come in? Oh, yes, they do. And do they accelerate you on your path? Oh, yes, they do. And are you needed? Oh, yes, you are. Okay, this is like, gee, I wonder if this is really something. No, this is real. This is happening. So if you have to pinch yourself or whatever you have to do and say, am I in a dream? And well, really on a higher level, you are. This is all a dream. And we have to get back to our original sources, remember who we are as powerful co-creators, and remember that, hey, there is the words of Shambhala, where there is peace, where you don't have to go through the suffering of this particular creation. There are other creations that you don't really have to do that and still explore and be creative. And I was like, hey, I think I'd like to get on board on that one. This one we're kind of tired of now, right now, the same old thing looping over and over and over again. And so we have an opportunity, we really do. And the bottom line I'm going to say is this too: things can only go but so far until things got to get cleaned up. The human consciousness has a choice. It can stay, down there in the pits, or it can try to, and that's why light workers are so important. They're trying to raise the vibration for the whole planet to awaken others. But at the end of the day, we're going to move forward whether we align with it or not. As Bob Marley says, go with the tide. Okay, so get on board and move into that. That's going to be a much easier way to go. Way much easier. So with that, I want to welcome everybody on Facebook Live, that if you would like to join us for the Anchoring Light meditation, it is on Zoom as well as important in person, where the Cosmic Center is located in Sarasota, Florida, in the United States. You are welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Simply go on our Facebook page and you will see the Anchoring Light transmission meditation with Baba Sharon. Once you register, you're in like Flynn. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say namaste. Remember who you are, shine bright. And one other thing, which I put the title of this, what's going on is meant also to bring us down energetically. Okay, and I mentioned this before to other light workers, that sometimes you may just feel depressed for no reason. You just get upset and kind of downhearted. Your heart is heavy. Well, you're picking up, if we're empaths, you're picking up the acceleration of what's being bombarded to us with the suffering of the world. It's like in Technicolor now. And so it can impinge upon us. Realize it's that impingement. Okay, but you have to do whatever you can to keep your vibration up. So one of the things that we did, we looked at these beautiful flowers. If somebody could pass me the flowers up there, right up there. These beautiful flowers that we did yesterday. If you walk and you see flowers anywhere, or you see the greening of grass, okay, make that as a reminder of the beautiful things, the wonderful things that are on the planet. Okay, so I want to leave these beautiful, beautiful flowers that even in the midst of things that are so disheartening and so hard, I get it, it impacts all of us. We still have to keep the energy up. That's our job. So whatever you got to do, not to fall into depression, not to fall into the low energy, that is the plan for that to happen, to keep humanity down like that. We as the light workers who are aware have to do what we got to do to look at a flower or smell a flower and remember our joy no matter what, so we can raise the planetary energetics. Okay, so I leave these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers with you that held all the beautiful energy yesterday, the equinox. So I'm going to say namaste to our family of light on Facebook Live. See you next Monday.